it's Sue Yannis here. I'm bringing you a little mat workout today. It's a de-stress mat workout and reconnect into your body. So an opportunity just to maybe, if you've been pushing hard in your workouts, to step back a little bit. If you're just learning, another great opportunity to just check in with your technique and work at a nice, slow but controlled pace. I've got a couple of props with me today. So all I've got is a TheraBand. This is a medium tension, whatever TheraBand you have at home will do. And I've also just grabbed a cushion from my couch. You might need two cushions. You might not need a cushion, but we're going to start off with sitting on the cushion. So just chuck your TheraBand to the side for me for a moment. Sit your bottom on top of your cushion with your legs nice and crossed. So this is just a really nice way to make it a little bit more comfortable for you, to take the tension out of your hips. If you're really tight in your hip flexors, you might not initially like to sit cross-legged on the mat. So I'm going to grab my TheraBand. We're going to start with some breathing. If you come and do Pilates with me, we always start with breathing because it's the basic foundations of what Pilates is all about. It helps you to connect into your body. It helps you to release tension. It helps to switch on your deep core muscles. It does a multitude of things. It nourishes the cells. But not to go too deep into it, just for the moment, we're going to grab the TheraBand, spread it out nice and flat, and you're going to wrap this band around the back of your rib cage. So I'm spreading it flat, and I'm going to hold the band just in front under my chest with one hand only. So I've got a free hand just to rest on my legs. So the band is going to give me feedback into my ribs just to help us with the lateral Pilates breathing that we do. So first of all, I want you to sit with a nice posture, not rigidly though. So when I tell people to sit with a good posture, nice and tall, I often see them do this. We don't want to do that. Our spine should be long, but we should still feel like we can move without holding tension. Isn't that what we all want? So I'm just checking in with where I feel like my body is. I'm right on the tips of the sit bones. I'm not forward, I'm not back, I'm not crooked to one side. Hopefully I can kind of see myself in the video camera here. And I'm just going to start to breathe in through my nose. And I'm breathing out through my mouth like I'm blowing out a candle. So I'm just going to do that a couple of times, not really thinking too much. I'm just feeling the air go in and blowing the stale air out of my lungs. So as I'm doing that, I'm going to start to be aware of, is my breath shallow? Is it not too bad? I feel like when I hold a lot of tension, my breath becomes quite shallow and I breathe into my chest a lot. So the band is going to help you to get out of the chest, out of the shoulders and into the sides of the rib cage. So as I breathe in now, I'm going to feel like my ribs push, the back of my rib cage and the side of my ribs push into my TheraBand and make my band a little bit bigger. And then as I breathe out, I can feel the band just kind of recoils on itself again. And if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, if you're going to practice this, have a look at yourself in a mirror. You minimize the rise of the shoulders here. So we're really just facilitating the rib cage movement, how it should swing out to the side. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm just going to feel that for a few breaths. It's not a lot of effort, it's an awareness. I'm calming my mind. Try not to think about the corona madness that's happening in our lives at the moment. Bringing it back into here and away from here and into here. 2 more. Shouldn't have said that, should I? Because now we're all thinking corona right now. It's definitely a challenge. 1 more breath. So keeping that quality of breath, I'm going to release my band and hold it in front of me. I'm holding my arms straight forward with my shoulders down away from my ears. Not too high, because you'll find your shoulders want to rise. Your hands could be slightly below shoulder height. I'm going to breathe out, pull on the band. Breathe in, resist the band coming back, too quickly. So I'm just trying to keep the broadness I can feel through my chest as I open my arms to the side. And then try to imagine that I'm actually getting longer and more open through my chest as I bring my arms back. And I just corrected myself. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but my left arm was bending. It's lazy. Those two arms are going to be straight. So what you're going to feel here is, yes, you're going to feel the upper body wakening up. The muscles around the upper back should be waking up. But the spine is nice and calm. The breathing is calm. It's quiet. 3 to go. Two more. How are we going? Looking good? Feeling good? Not rushing. We got all the time in the world. You're going to hang out with me for as long as you like. One more. No, I promise I'm not going to keep you here for too long today. And return with control. Ooh, give those shoulders a little bit of a shake. I can feel them working. And then we're going to hold the band, same place, or maybe a little bit further apart if you need to. We're going to breathe in and float the two arms straight above the head. So the band is coming over the top of the head, but you don't let the head pop forward. The spine stays still. You reach the arms back for a nice stretch across the front of the shoulder, and the band comes down to the floor. And repeat. Or reverse, I should say. Reach the band, soften the shoulders, come back in. Now what will want to happen here as you move the arms, the ribs, if I turn side on, I'm going to show you, right here, the ribs are going to want to do that. You're going to want to arch your back like a gymnast. We're not at the Olympics right now. Your goal would be to hold the ribs quiet and just move those arms. Not too easy, pretty challenging, so do the best you can. Don't forget that those ribs are part of your body. I'm going to come back to the front. You're going to do a couple more. Lift. Press it back. That's the way. You're doing an amazing job. You kind of always got to keep self-correcting with Pilates. So my goal is to kind of empower you guys that watch my videos to correct yourself. Build up your self-awareness. So you don't really have to rely on me all the time. How good would that be? One more. Taking it back. No rush today, like I said. And the band comes down to the thighs. Well done. So we're going to drop that down to the ground. I'm getting rid of my cushion now. I'm just going to use the cushion and hold it between my inside thighs. Here. A little squeeze of the cushion. And I'm going to grab my band again, actually. Change my mind. I do that a lot, don't I? And I'm going to wrap the band around my feet. So I'm kind of squeezing my cushion just a little bit. I'm not like killing it, but just enough to know that I've got some muscles in the inside of my thighs. I'm sitting tall. And then I'm going to breathe out. I'm going to pull my tummy in. I'm using the band to help control me. So I'm only going to lower as far back as, first of all, my tummy can stay in, and I want to round my lower back. So we're not going back like Dracula out of a coffin here. My head is looking into my belly. My pubic bone is kind of curling towards my face, and I'm rolling. I can feel my pelvis tilting. I'm just moving my feet back towards me a little bit. And then I'm going to bring it forward. And then I'm going to restack tall, and I'm going to repeat that again. So I do have quite a bit of tension on my band right now. So I'm rolling, 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 rolling. My pelvis is tilting, pulling the tummy flat. Now the squeeze of the cushion here is going to really help you. And it's going to help you to keep that tummy nice and flat and connect into your deep core muscles. As I sit tall, I just got to watch out because my belly just wants to splat onto my thighs. Don't do that, guys. Pull it in nice and flat. We don't like those bellies hanging out. We don't like flabby inside thighs. Well, I don't anyway, don't know about you. Bring the shoulders forward. Now right here, oh, I'm just going to push my face into the cushion. Oh, I'm going to move it away so that doesn't work. So you can hear me talking, and then sit up tall. So I'm going from a straight spine to a C curve, a rounded spine. The top of my pants is going to touch the mat. You might not get that far if your lower back's a little bit tight. That might not work for you, but that's okay. Remember, this is about you learning about your body. A workout doesn't always have to be smashing the absolute crap out of yourself. I have to remind myself about that daily. So we're just going to do one more of these little rollbacks. Looking into the stomach, and we're going to hold. Shall we hang out here for a little bit? Should we stay? If you want to, you can start to take the pressure off of the band a little bit so it's not doing so much work. Your tummy's doing more work. Let's just hold. Just keep breathing. Should we stay here for 5 minutes? No? What do you mean no? Oh my God. We've got to work ourselves sometimes. And we're going to lower all the way back down to the floor, but really slowly. Don't you rush. Don't you get quick. If you've already get down, get back up. Come down bone by bone by bone by bone. Bend the knees, just gently release your TheraBand. We're going to pop that to the side and we're going to do just a couple of pelvic curls. So I'm going to move down. I'm still going to use my cushion. My feet are in line with my sit bones. I'm going to turn my palms up to the sky so my upper arm can kind of roll outwards and my chest feels beautiful and wide. I'm not lying here like I feel like this. If you need to, you might need another cushion at the back of your head. That might feel better for you. For me, don't really need it, but you can do whatever you need to today. Okay, so we're here. We're going to breathe out. So I'm going to press my lower back into the floor. So I'm going to imagine I've just got a little grate between my lower back and the mat. I'm going to squish the grate. Squish the grate. And then come back to the start position. A little space between the lower back and the floor. So it's called imprinting, by the way. So we're going to breathe out. Pull the stomach flat, squash the grate. You'll feel your tailbone, your coccyx might lift off the mat a little bit, and your pubic bone moves just a tiny little bit towards your chest, and you pull the tummy in. I'm going to do that just one more time, just warming up the lower back, switching on the stomach muscles, checking in with what the shoulders are doing. Are they run by your ears? Slide them away for me for a sec, and come back. Okay. Now we're going to pass through that imprint. So we go into it again. But then this time, you're going to start to wrap your bottom. So squeeze your butt cheeks. Push the feet into the floor and you're going to lift the next vertebrae, just one, off the mat. And then the next one. Really slowly for the first rep, guys. And then the next one. Don't be tempted to rush this. And I want you to push with the backs of the legs. Don't push with the back muscles. It's easy to just get up there and we're here, right? And we haven't really given our spine the love that it needs. Hold at the top, breathing. And then you're going to melt. The next bone goes back down. And then the next one. So my hamstrings are working. Like I can feel the backs of my legs, but my spine just feels like it's kind of fluid. Kind of caramelly, gooey and smooth. Back to the bottom. I'm going to do that a few more times. So I'm crushing my grape. Breathe out. Don't worry if you get the breath the wrong way, by the way. I'm not going to let you get caught up in that today. I just want you to see if you can get some flexibility in those backs. Take it in 2 breaths if you need to. Take it in 3. I'm coming really slowly and carefully. Making sure I'm pushing up with the hamstrings, with the top of the bottom. I can really feel it here. Check that your butt's on. Should feel nice tight booty right here. And then come down slowly. 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 Don't rush. What I normally find is when I get to the tight spot, my lower back's a little bit tight. At the moment, it's okay. Today actually feels okay, but sometimes it feels really tight and I can't roll through it. It feels like a bit like a plank of wood. You're going to want to speed up through that section because it's hard, but I'm going to make you slow it down. Do it one more time. Here's the tough part, through the lower back. The glutes are starting to wake it up. Now just the next bone. Next one. Slowing things down is so hard for me. I don't know about you, but I want to rush through it and miss out on all this amazing feedback through my hamstrings and my glutes. And then take it all the way down, nice and carefully, till you get to the bottom. I'm just going to pull my knees into my chest and just stretch my hamstrings and just hang here for a second. So now we'll put the feet back onto the floor. I'm going to press the soles of the feet together, and then imagine that the two backs of the knees are going to push as close to the floor as possible. You're going to keep your pelvis in neutral, so check that your hip bones and your pubic bone are level. And then I'm going to put my hands at the backs of my thighs here. Now we're going to wake up those deep muscles inside the hip sockets, and you might be getting a little bit of a stretch in the inside thighs right here. Without letting the shoulders come into play, we're going to press the backs of the thighs into the hands. So this is going to really activate deep into the hip sockets, and we're going to try to push the backs of the knees towards the floor and hold that connection for a couple of seconds. So I'm going to count to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm just going to release. So it doesn't, again, it's one of these ones, it doesn't look like I'm doing a whole lot, but it really burns deep in the hip. And repeat, we're going to do that 3 times. Push the backs of the thighs down. You want to feel like you activate inside the hip first, then you might feel a little bit of glute wrap around the back of the leg. The goal is not to do too much with the glute, but a little bit more intrinsically inside. So it's just breathing and holding, counting to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax for a split second. We're going to do that one more time. If you've ever done floor frogs on the Wonder Chair, this is our little mat version. If you've never done it, don't worry. You might want to ask your instructor to help you with that in your next studio class. So last time, pressing the backs of the hands and the backs of the thighs into each other. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the knees back into the chest. So I'm going to pop my feet back down again, and we're going to go into a couple of leg lifts. So again, just assessing where the back is. Think about where the weight is on the back of your pelvis. Your job is not to let the weight tip forward or back at all. So I'm just going to breathe out and just do a couple of single leg lifts, lifting the leg and lowering the leg. And you should feel your core muscles just start to activate as you lift, and try to hold everything else absolutely still. I'm not being too worried about what my lower leg's doing. I'm actually just letting it hang and just trying to really concentrate on the deep activation that I can feel behind my belly. My belly button, I should have said. We'll just do one more singles. And we're going to have a go at doing a double leg lift. Now this is pretty challenging, so don't feel like you have to get that second leg off the floor. But what we're going to do is float the right leg back up, just as we did before. Now close your eyes for me, and I want you to pay attention to the weight on the back of the sacrum, that flat bone, and where you feel the gap at the lower back. And your job is, as you slowly take the pressure out of the left foot, to lift that left leg in the air, not to let the weight change. So you're going to feel an extra deepening of an activation in your tummy. And then we're going to float the right leg back down really slowly here with lots and lots and lots of control to bring the other leg to join it. So we're going to lead with the left leg now. Float the left leg up. Now right here, if you're trying to lift the right leg and it's really challenging, you're not right ready for it, what you will feel is the back just arches, and if you were to put your hand on your tummy, your belly would push out into your hand. So you might just want to hang here. Just stay here for a moment. If this is you, then you're going to slowly start to take the pressure out of the right foot and find the point where the load goes into the tummy, but it's not popping. You might just want to work on that. Press the right foot back down. And again, pull the abdominals flat. Start to lighten the right leg. Don't lift it off. And heavy it back up. So you could use that version, or you could come with me and do a full double leg lift. Work at the level that you're at. We're going to keep going for a couple more each side. This is really challenging even for me. I can feel my tummy shaking as I try to bring up that second leg. It's mega hard to do it well. It's very hard to do it well. I'm sure you're doing an amazing job at home. Let's do one more. And place the feet back down. Well done. So I'm just going to grab my TheraBand now and give myself a really gentle hamstring stretch. Just wrap the band around the sole of your foot. Press your leg along to the ceiling. I'm going to keep my left knee bent and then just gently use my arms to pull that band, and the foot comes towards me over my face, but I'm not going to pull so far that my whole butt lifts off. And I'm just going to hang here for 6 breaths. I don't know about you at home, but I love how a stretch of stretching my hamstrings just feels amazing. So I'm just going to lay here and check in with my shoulders, melt them into the floor. And you might feel a little sense of release through the hamstring at a certain point. Once you do, you might be able to feel like you can pull that leg a little further back towards you to increase the hamstring length. Do that and hang there for a little bit. And then just gently release. We're going to pop the left foot in, take the right leg out. And then the same thing on this side, 6 breaths, just pulling that leg. Oh, my left leg feels a little bit tighter. Do you guys notice if you've got one hamstring tighter than the other? My left leg's my strongest leg, but I definitely feel like this leg is tighter. And gently pulling. Now your leg might not nearly get as high as mine. You might find that you're down here somewhere. That's okay. You're working at your own pace today. You're in comfort of your own home. No one's watching you. You don't have me pointing and prodding at you. So take your time, take it easy. And then I'm going to really gently bend the knee, take my foot up, pop the band back onto the floor. I'm going to start going to a single leg stretch. We're going to start this with the head down onto the mat. Keep the arms down. So again, I'm pressing my arms. You're going to bring your right leg up and you're going to bring your left leg up. Do the best job you can. And then once you're there, if you need to pull your knees a little bit closer to your chest so that you don't feel like your back is arching, you're going to do that. I want you to look after your backs today. This should not hurt your back. If you want to make sure you're protecting your back, you can almost think of being in a little imprint. You can almost think of actually drawing those vertebrae at the lower back towards the floor and pulling the stomach in a little bit flatter. So as I exhale, I'm going to hold my left leg still. The right leg presses forward onto a diagonal, and then I'm really feeling my tummy having to activate so that my back doesn't tilt. And then bring the knee back in. So I'm going to exhale, pull the tummy flat. I'm just sending my legs straight up. Now you could go straight to the ceiling if you need to, because you're concentrating on the activation. If you're to put your hands on your tummy, you don't want to feel that belly rise. So we're going to keep going. I'm going to go out to a low, kind of a 45-degree angle, I think. And I'm pulling it back in, press. One leg is staying still. One leg is moving. So again, I'm feeling the little shakes in my tummy. My deep abdominals are working super hard. I'm going to do one more each leg with the head down. You can continue like this. If you feel like you have neck things going on, you can keep that head down. But I'm going to take my hands behind my head. I'm interlacing my fingers, resting my head back in my hands, and I'm going to gently lift my head up off the floor. Now, if you're not ready for this, don't go there. I'm keeping my head like this. I'm at the tips of my shoulder blades, so I'm not down here, and I'm not pulling on my head either. My neck is nice and long. Press one leg out, pull the tummy flat, come back in. Press other leg out, belly goes in. Keep repeating. So you'll be looking at your stomach and making sure you don't see that tummy push up. You might need your hand to check on that because I'm really specific on technique. I want you guys to feel good after the class, not hurting in your back. So we're doing 2 more each way. Last one. Looking good. You're doing an amazing job. Lucky lass. Hold, do not splat. You're going to come down with your head with control. And then just gently place your feet onto the mat. Okay, so we're going to roll onto our side, push yourself up, come onto hands and knees with another one of my favorite exercises, the cat stretch. So I'm placing my wrists underneath my shoulder, my knees are under my hips. I'm going to push the floor away like I'm pushing away a heavy door, but I'm sending my shoulders away from my ears. My eyes are looking down in between my fingers, but a little bit forward. So I'm not up here and I'm not down here somewhere. My back has nice soft curves. I'm just going to take a breath out and then round my back. Squeeze out all the air. Breathe in as you lengthen the crown of the head forward. Spread the butt cheeks apart and lift the breastbone up. And again, exhale, pull the stomach in and up. And inhale. Feel a stretch through the front of your belly after you've just worked the tummy muscles. Enjoy that stretch. Be mindful of your back here though, guys. If your back doesn't like this extension, as in this position here where you have a dip in your back, don't go there. You can stop just at the start position. Don't take it into that extension. Today it feels okay for me. Some days it doesn't. Today it feels okay. And that just goes to show how your body feels today is not necessarily how it's going to feel tomorrow or the day after. So be careful. One more. Really enjoying that beautiful stretch through the front of the waist. Coming back to neutral here. Okay, so now we're going to go into an exercise called kneeling swim or Superman, depending on where you do Pilates. We're going to keep the spine and the hips as still as we can. So no boom boom swinging those hips to the side. Keep the booty still here, guys. You're going to pull the tummy in. I'm going to slide my left leg back. And then I'm going to lift my leg up, but I'm not going to lift it too high. So I'm lifting it up probably the same height as my shoulders, not all the way up here, because I want you to be looking at my lower back and I want you to yell out and correct me if I need correction here, by the way. Pull the tummy up. There's a strong focus of the belly. Now the right arm goes straight forward to the same height as the foot, and we're going to hold there for 3 deep breaths. I'm pulling my tummy in and up, and I'm trying to push my right shoulder down away from my ear. Yes, this is a bit of shoulder strengthening. My left arm is shaking. I'm going to do that one more time. And then really slowly, do not rush, bring it back in. It's a lot of load through the left wrist, so just be careful of your wrists. Now I'm going to start to go the other way. I'm not going to let my hips swing to the left side. I'm going to slide my right leg straight back. Keep the big toe on the floor initially. You could stay here if you want to. You don't have to lift that leg off the floor. But if you're coming with me, we're lengthening, lifting the leg up to squeeze the right butt cheek. Don't move the shoulders. Take the left hand forward and hold. Again, we've got our 3 deep breaths here. Hang in there, guys. If you want to be here, that's absolutely fine. You can do that. If you want to be there, you can do that. Just stay, soften the top of the shoulder, because I know most of you are going to have that shoulder right up by your ear. Pull it right down. So I'm actually feeling that connection of my armpit. And I'm just breathing. I'm kind of running my inner eye through my whole body. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Slowly, slowly, slowly bring it back in. Just do 1 more round back. Just to stretch the lower back out. Looking good. And we're going to come down onto our tummies. All the way down. So I'm going to rest my forehead on my hands. My feet are slightly apart. You can do this with your legs together. But for me, it feels nicer on my lower back to have my legs slightly apart. So I'm going to be down with my forehead. Heavy, heavy, heavy. And I'm just going to do a few breaths here. So I'm not going to talk for a moment, but I'm just going to feel like my pubic bone is pushing nice and heavy into the mat, so my tummy is activated. And I'm just going to take my nice deep breaths, just like I did at the start, and try to lift my belly button off the floor without my shoulders tightening. So we'll do that 6 times. I'm going to let you do that in your own time. Really feeling really heavy through my chest. Four more breaths. Just letting go. So without changing the quality of my upper body, I'm going to start to go into a little basic swimming. So I'm going to push my pubic bone a little bit heavier into the mat and really engage my glutes. You'll probably see that my butt's tightening here. And without shifting or swinging my hips again side to side, I'm just going to lift one leg just about a centimeter or two off the floor. Lengthen it first to lift it up. And then lower it back down. Now if you're watching me, I want you to look right here at my lower back. So I'm actually not lifting that leg too high, because if I lift it a little bit, my lower back can stay still. But if I go too high, you'll see that my back arches, and then all I can feel is a back workout. I actually can't really focus on my glutes and my hamstrings anymore. So I want you to keep it out of the back and into the hamstrings here and into the glute. So we're lengthening the leg, watch the shoulders, lift it only a little bit and back down. We're alternating. The more that you can push your pubic bone heavier, if you think about making a hole in my mat, in your mat, with your pubic bone, that will really help you to keep it in the back of the leg. And we're going to do 3 more each side. And 2. And just 1 more each side. And then we're holding those legs down. Now we're going to do the opposite and work the upper back. I don't want the thighs to come off this time. They stay heavy. Yes, there's still tone here, but those thighs are not lifting. I'm going to float my upper body off the mat. I'm thinking about going out through the crown of the head, not up so high. So I'm still looking down at my mat, kind of like Superman. And then come back down. So I'm going to breathe in as I lift this time. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Going for the length. And again. Watch those shoulders, guys. You want to be feeling like you're using the muscles of the upper back, not the muscles of the shoulders. Or around the tops of the shoulders anyway. 4 more. And I'm not coming too high, because otherwise I'll be cheating and kind of pushing my hips into the floor to lift. I want to feel like my belly button stays lifted. Don't push your stomach into the mat just to get that upper back up. That's cheating. 2 to go. And this is the last one. Well done. Let's roll on to our side. So I'm going to lie on my right side here with my legs forward at 90 and my back lining up with the back of the mat. If you need to prop yourselves up with cushions, grab your pillow, put it underneath your ear and your shoulder, and you can lie with that arm forward if it's discomfort in that shoulder for you. So I like to make sure that my hips are stacked. I'm not sure if you can actually see me there. Okay, that's better. Okay, so one hip is right on top of the other hip. When we're relaxing on our side here, if you can see there, my underneath waist is just splatted and this top side is really short. So if I just use my hand and just gently push that hip bone down a little bit, there becomes a little bit of a space through the underneath waist, but I'm not tensing my shoulders. I'm going to move my knees forward again, and then I'm going to go into clams. So we're going to go 6 clams. I'm just going to open the top knee and lower it down. And again, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Keep that nice lift through the underneath waist, activating through the stomach. 6. And then we're going to hold the thigh up. We're just going to lift the leg and place it back down. Touch the feet. Lift the leg, place it back down. You might need your hand on the mat here. So I'm still trying to open my knee to like a diamond. And I'm really working those muscles deep inside the hip again. I've lost count. We're going to do 3 more. 1 and 2 and 1 more. 3. And then we're going to hold the leg up. The thigh stays still. You're going to straighten the top leg. bend it. I'm still trying to push the back of my knee back to the wall behind me. 2, press. The more that you push that leg back, the more it's going to burn. If you're just here, you're probably not going to feel a whole lot. And 3. And 4, how are we going? Feeling the booty yet? And 5. And we're just going to do one more. That's really getting right into my butt. 6. Well done. We're going to stretch both legs out long. We're going to do a little side kick. So the feet are just slightly in front of the body, and we're going to lift the leg up. 1 and down. A little bit of momentum's okay here too. So I'm going to feel a nice stretch through the whole of the inside thigh. You might not get your leg as high as mine. It's okay. 3. We're doing 6 and 4 and 5. Lucky last. Lift it up. 6. Well done. Let's swing around. Get this thing down on the other side. Lining up with your mat. Bending your knees, pushing the top hip down. Let's go. 6 clams straight away. Opening the top knee. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. So now what's happening for me is I can feel the underneath butt still working. 6. I don't know if you guys can. Hold the top knee up. Little leg straight and down. Straighten it and down. 2 and 3. How are we going? Hanging in there. 4 and 5. Oh, this butt stuff really gets me every time. 6 and stay there. I feel like I've missed something out. What did I miss out? Oh, I missed the lift and lower. So we're going to go back and retract. Sorry guys. 1, 2. I have no idea if we've done the same thing on this side as the other side. 3. But anyway, I can feel my butt working. I don't know about you. 4. Holy moly. 5. Oh, last one. 6. Oh my God. Let's straighten the legs and let's kick it out. Push the hand onto the floor. Lift the leg. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Keep the shoulders soft. 5. We're almost to the end of the class. Last one. 6. Oh, you're doing so good. I'm going to sit you up quickly for a quick back support. So we're going to press the feet into the floor, bending the knees. The fingertips are pointing forwards. If this is tough on the wrist, go onto your fists. So we're going to push the kneecaps to the ceiling, tuck the tail between the legs, and press the pelvis up so your body ends up looking like a coffee table. Hold for a moment. Open through those shoulders. Pull the stomach in. Watch the belly's not pushing to the ceiling as you come back down. We're going to do that 2 more times. We're almost there. Hang in there. Last one. Tuck. Press up the hips. Open through the shoulders. Scoop the stomach. Roll back down. This is your last one. Push it up. Stay, 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 stay. And come back down. Well done. We're just going to grab the cushion again. I'm going to sit back on top of it just like we did at the very start of the workout. Cross your legs. And how does your body feel now? Oh, mine feels a little bit worked, a little bit warm. Feel pretty good in the shoulders. How do you feel? Let me know. Okay, so I'm just going to calm my breathing down for 6 to 10 deep breaths. Checking, do my shoulders feel like they're stacked on top of my pelvis? I'm not leaning forward, I'm not rounding, I'm not leaning back. Again, just finding that awareness, imagining that I have the TheraBand wrapped around my ribs. So I can feel the widening of the rib cage as I breathe in. And I can feel my ribs recoil as I breathe out. One more breath. You can stay here for as long as you like. I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you for watching. Bye.